money away. We pour derision on our coins, condemning many to an eternity stuck in the softened tar of car parks. By accident or on purpose? Money that we allow to easily slip out of our hands when we leave a grocery, pharmacy or parlor. Are we too proud to be seen picking up the fallen change? Coins left on counters, unwanted, too much of a hassle to carry around. Why do we treat our coins with such disdain?
Throw it on the counter. They don't want it. Coins can't buy nothing. Like small money. Yeah.
Inflation has eroded the 1 cent's purchasing power. Items that used to cost 1 cent some 50 years ago now cost dollars.
We used to buy lots of things with a penny. We have cocoa brittle, we have paradise plum.
Yeah, I used to buy half-cent biscuit and all.
This loss of value means the 1 cent can no longer be used to buy individual items, though we can still pay for things with them. But does anyone pay with coins?
All the coins for today, 50 cents.
1 cent have no value, 5 cents have no value, 10 cents have no value in Trinidad yet.
No other coin has faced the brunt of our snobbishness than our 1 cent. The lowly 1 cent has been in circulation in our country for the last 50 years, but alas, its end is near. The 1 cent is facing execution at the hands of the central bank governor. Its crime? Being unloved by the people of Trinidad and Tobago. That, and the bank says, it's a case of saving money. The 1 cent costs 21 cents to make, meaning every time a 1 cent coin is minted, the central bank loses money. In the world of central banking, this is called negative seigniorage. Seigniorage is the difference between the value of money and the cost to produce it. If the seigniorage is positive, then the central bank will make an economic profit. A negative seigniorage will result in an economic loss. The 1 cent is in the negative seigniorage area. While electronic payments such as credit cards and debit cards have grown in the last 2 decades, cold, hard cash is still king in our economy. Right now, we have over $7.5 billion in currency actively circulating in Trinidad and Tobago. While it costs 21 cents to mint a 1 cent, this coin will not be used just once, but typically will be in circulation for several years and used over and over again. There are 2 sides of every coin, and central bank is looking at just one side. Maybe the side with the bird and the flower. Pretty and a bit simple. On the flip side of the coin, we the citizens can look at the side with the coat of arms. On this side with the coat of arms, you find country. On this side, removing the 1 cent from circulation can hurt the country. Here are 4 things you need to know about the removal of the 1 cent. 1. The rounding tax. Never heard of it? You will be paying it once the 1 cent meets its end. The rounding tax comes from rounding rules. Rounding rules are a central banking practice that are used for determining the price of things when eliminating low denomination coins. Rounding rules only apply to payments being made in cash because electronic payments are always made to exact decimal point. This is how it works. The price of things will not change before your eyes. You will still see things in the grocery that cost $5.99, for example. The rounding rules will be applied on your final bill and one payment is being made in cash. The rounding rule says if a cash purchase ends in 3, 4, 8 or 9, the resulting total would be rounded up to the nearest 5 cents. While if the total ends in 1, 2, 6 or 7, the resulting sum would be rounded down to the nearest 5 cents. Most firms price strategically, if not opportunistically, whether it is to set prices at the attractive figure of 9 to ensure transactions are always rounded up. not down. The rounding up to the nearest 5 cent will again only be reflected on your bill and applied if you are paying with cash. If you are paying electronically, you will pay the exact price on the cash register's screen. If you are paying cash, then the cashier, who it's expected will be trained in the new rounding rules, will hand you your change minus the change he or she would have rounded it up. Now here's the tax part. The rounding tax is considered a hidden tax, as most times you won't realize you've been charged slightly more if you are paying in cash. Let's look at a typical shopping list of items in the grocery, which consists of milk, flour, sugar, onions, garlic, potatoes, cheese, butter, rice, cricks, chicken, sardines, cooking oil, coffee, jam, etc. We are paying cash, therefore our total will be, our change will be. But what if I demand to be given my change as I am legally entitled to? Well, that's left to be seen. The resulting rounding tax will mainly affect lower income groups and pensioners, the groups who use cash more frequently than individuals with higher incomes. If each of the 1.4 million citizens in Trinidad and Tobago experience a 1 cent of rounding up per day, this would amount to a rounding tax of over $5 million per year that will go directly to businessmen. Which direction do you think businessmen will round to? The second thing you need to know about the removal of the 1 cent is its impact on our inflation rate. That's right. Once the 1 cent is pushed off the cliff, the absence of this unloved bronze bit will drive up inflation, though it will take some time for this to happen. Removing the 1 cent and the subsequent accompanying rounding tax will add to inflation. Conservative calculations put the inflationary effects of the rounding tax on the government and private sectors at over $100 million over the next 10 years. Food prices have the biggest impact on headline inflation, and together with our depreciating exchange rate, any change to prices will have an impact on inflation. When the US government broached the idea back in 2013 of scrapping the iconic penny, the Wall Street Journal described the move as one that would wave a symbolic white flag before the forces of inflation. The Wall Street Journal likened taking the penny out of circulation to actions taken by third world countries to degrade their currencies and create hyperinflation. The third thing you need to know about killing off the 1 cent is it doesn't make sense. The central bank cites the expense of making the 1 cent as the driving force behind its move to eliminate it. If there were no 1 cent coins, the central bank would have to produce more 5 cent coins, and these also cost more to make than their face value. Will the bank soon argue we should eliminate the 5 cent coin and round to the nearest 10 cents? Pretty soon, there'll be no cents left in the central bank. Which brings us to reason number 4, that is, sending the 1 cent off to retire is a bad idea. The central bank cannot simply throw those 1 cent pieces away. It can recycle the bronze in them. But what will it receive from recycling that stock of bronze which is not as precious as gold or silver? Certainly not a cent. What the central bank really should have focused on is getting people to value the 1 cent again. Make the 1 cent wanted. Coins are money and have value. As a country, our wealth development has exceeded our wealth appreciation. We need to see and be reminded about the value of each and every cent.
When recession kicked in, we had a customer, she came in and she paid for all her groceries with 25 cents pieces, 10 cents, 5 cents, 1 cent. The same cents that people quarreling about and stuff.
The central bank could have attempted to persuade us, especially younger children, the value of each and every cent. This is doable. The central bank had access to children through the recently disbanded Financial Inclusion Development Agency (FIDA), which was successfully introducing financial literacy into the curriculum of early childhood centers and primary schools. Once the children continued saving those coins in jars, cash pans, which FIDA provided, the next step in saving the 1 cent would be redemption. Redemption could take place at the central bank or easily exchanged at coin deposit machines. Bank Negara Malaysia, the Central Bank of Malaysia, successfully implemented coin machines to tackle low coin stock. The central bank could have also tackled its coin troubles by promoting use of the 1 cent as charitable donations. Donate a little and do a lot. There is an even better option for the central bank to save money in currency costs, and it's already in place. By shifting to a family of polymer notes, the central bank could save a considerable sum of around $150 million in printing costs, equivalent to almost 5 years' worth of printing costs for paper notes. Unfortunately, the central bank's more profitable move to polymer was foolishly stopped in late 2015 by the Minister of Finance, yet there is endorsement of a move that will add to inflation. While we can appreciate an entity trying to save money, the fact that the central bank will save at our expense needs to be thoroughly communicated and not just forced onto us. There's one element of this that has been forgotten as well. Does the public want to part with its 1 cent?
Well, I don't think so. Because every cent is full of basket. And certain people drop it in the ground. I pick it up because it is full of basket for me.
Yeah. I don't think so. Then how you rounding out? Everything would be rounded off to the nearest dollar.
I give Bill Curry for the cent already, you know.
The 1 cent needs redemption, not execution. One final word. Treat your coins better. Use them to pay for things. Collect and redeem them. Every cent counts.
To be a trillionaire, it starts from 1 cent.